Okay, let's go and find the stream. Not that one. Go here. That's tier 2. I'll still be loading up. Oh, yep, and the audio's working. I just heard it then. So, finally. Caps up, the stream's up, we're all good to go. Hello and welcome everybody to the final round, round 15 of the Go Workplace Training PlayStation Pacific Series, the Tier 1 Pacific Series, here on Race Spec Esports. We are here for the Brazilian Grand Prix at Turismo José Carlos Pacheco, a 4.31 kilometer 15 turn racetrack that was opened all the way back in 1940. It's one of the most legendary racetracks in Formula 1. I wouldn't necessarily say it has the same historical status as, say, Monaco, Monza, Silverstone and Spa, but it's still definitely up there. This place has generated some of the most legendary moments in the world of Formula 1. In fact, in real life, this place has an unbelievable characteristic of just generating magnificent racing. I mean, we cast our minds back to 2019, that absolutely stellar race that resulted in Max Verstappen taking victory, followed by Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz, completely out of left field. And then if we cast our minds back even further, perhaps a decade back, in 2012, which Sebastian Vettel put on a fantastic recovery drive to come back from a lap 1 incident at turn 4 with Bruno Senna, to end up finishing P6, I believe, in the end, taking home the World's Drivers' Championship, only just beating Fernando Alonso. And then we had 3 spectacular races in a row, 2008, 2007 and 2006. Of course, in 08, the Isaac Glock moment, that infamous Isaac Glock moment where Lewis Hamilton would win his first of 7 drivers' titles. In 2007, an out-of-left field champion, Kimi Raikkonen, everybody thought it'd be either Alonso or Hamilton who would take the title. It went to Kimi after 2 spectacularly good races at the end of the season. And in 2006, while many of his critics doubted him, Michael Schumacher put on a magnificent overtaking display for his final race at Ferrari, coming back from a puncture early on to try and fight for some sort of chance for the World Drivers' Championship, because he was still an outside shot. It was a brilliant racing display, a fine way to what was at the time to end his career, though that certainly wasn't the case later on. He would come back with Mercedes-Benz in 2010 as Ford gets caught out at Descida del Lago turns number 4 and 5. But this racetrack throughout history has generated magnificent racing. It's, in all honesty, it's probably my favourite circuit as a spectator and commentator. I'm not particularly good here as a driver, but when unbelievable. In the virtual world, I think probably the greatest race I ever commentated came here from Interlagos. It was actually with Race Spec as well. Season 2, America's Series. It was a magnificent battle between a driver named Alpine and BRT Fass. They were both fighting for the Drivers' Championship, and the 2 drivers battled each other throughout the race. On every single lap it seemed like they were battling one another, and then on the final lap to decide it all, with them only separated by only a few tenths of a second, Alp would make a critical mistake at Junso turn 12, which ultimately resulted in Fass taking a home win, as he was Brazilian. But the 2 drivers showed such respect, such professionalism, such skill. It was magnificent to watch. So I have quite high hopes here at Interlagos that we'll get the sort of season finale that this championship deserves, because it has been a fantastic season. The drivers and the constructors are already wrapped up. GeForce Crichton taking the driver's title, Mercedes-Benz taking the constructors championship. There's still battles down the leaderboard as well, which will be sorted out after this race, but for us watching this, all that we worry about is just watching a damn fine race, and hopefully we will get one. But with that out of the way, time to talk about qualifying here at Interlagos. One of the best things about this place is how close it is in qualifying. I wouldn't be at all surprised if the entirety of the field was only separated by a second, maybe a little over a second. That's how tight it is around here. It's a very short lap, as you can see. Top time is about 66 seconds, so every corner matters around here. You cannot afford to make a mistake at any part around this track, because if you do, it will cost you way too much time compared to those you are battling against. So this should be quite a tense qualifying session. It'd be quite interesting to see who will get pole. Oh dear, Plev's jumping about there. Not too good. But he's coming around Subito Dubox's and then Arki Vancada's the final corner. He'll cross the line to set a 1:07, just outside the top 10. GeForce Ford on a flying lap, coming out of Desida do Lago. Up the hill round Ferradura, turn 6 and 7. And around turn 8 is tight right-handed hairpin. Turn 9. This little kink here is turn 10, and then the hairpin is turn 11. And back down the hill around Magulo, and then Junso. Probably the most important corner on the racetrack. Ford making a bit of a mistake there. I'd say it's the most important corner I'd say it's the most important corner on the track purely because it leads into the longest flat-out section on the racetrack. So if you stuff up turn 12, you stuff up the following corners and the pit straight. So it's quite an important corner to get right. And Ford goes 6th quickest with a 1:06.788. The only two cars yet to set a lap time are the two Red Bulls of Curving Texas and OP Magic. As that cushion validates there at turn 4. Quite an easy thing to do. It's probably... that and turn 2 are the two places where you need to be very, very careful when it comes to warnings. Make either part of the racetrack, it's very easy to gather a warning, particularly with turn 4. As you're trying to maximize the width of the racetrack, just run a little bit too wide and put all 4 wheels over the white line, and it's very easy to cop a warning there. And the same with turn 2. Cutting a little bit too much at the apex of turn 2 can result in a warning as well. Oh, it missed him out very skatey there at the exit of turn 9, but he keeps it under control. And he's actually backed out of the lap completely. Right, and he's got a bit of traffic in. Go. Comes round. And turn 5. And up the hill. Just a Haas slowing down, bringing out yellow flags. Rounding turn 9. Back up the hill. Round turn 10 and 11. And back down the hill. It's quite the roller coaster ride here at Interlagos. And he's up almost 0.2 of a second. He's going to try and challenge for pole position here. Coming up to the final corner now. Hugging the left-hand side. Crossing the line. Crichton sets a 1 minute. 6.407. Not quite enough to take pole away from Isaac Kush. Old boy making his way round turn 6 and 7 towards the tight hairpin of 8. Third gear, modulates the throttle nicely, keeps it in third for turn 9. Running low on fuel as well, so he's running the car light. In fact, I think he might be on an in-lap. Not using any of his battery, so he must be on an in-lap. Leo ending his lap, currently P6, stays P6. Only improving by 800ths. His teammate though up by 3/10 in the first sector. Exiting turn 9 through 10 and 11. Or sideways at the exit of 11 and down the hill through 12. Into Junso. He's lost a little bit of time, or he made a bit of a mess of turn 12 as well. I think he will still improve, but not as much as what he might have hoped. Crossing the line to do a 6-7, just behind his Haas teammate. 300ths in fact separate the two. Okay, we'll go back to Ford in just a moment. Just want to see what Spilly's up to. Up by a little over a 10th. Unfortunately, that won't bolster him up the leaderboards unless he nails this final sector, which he just might. Come up to the line, Spilly will set a 6-7. Does improve by 1 place, so he did a fairly nice job in the final sector. But we're going to utilise GeForce Ford as OP Magic has been disqualified for driving the wrong way, so OP will start from plumb last. We'll go on a guided tour around Interlagos through the Center S, turns 1 and 2, and then Curva de Sol, turn 3. Hugging the left-hand side, even on the exit, DRS open. There are cars coming out of the pits, they'll get out of the way. Round Desida do Lago, turns 4 and 5, climbs up through the gears, up the hill towards Ferradura. 8th gear back down to 6th gear for turn 6. Through turn 7 into the hairpin of turn 8. 2nd gear, short shifts to 3rd. Rounding turn 9, keeps it in 3rd. Even on the exit, a slight short shift there. Now 11, the tight hairpin. Exits nicely. Back down the hill through turn 12. Keeps it pinned. Rounding Junso, turn 13. Then up the hill. Rounding 14, and then the final corner, turn 15. Hugging the left-hand side, up to the line. Ford sets a 1 minute 6.626. Goes 4th quickest. His teammate Isaac Kush, I believe, has bailed out of a lap. He's going to have a go at another one, though. Coming towards the Senna S. Round he goes. Curva de Sol. And on to the Retta Aposta. Up by 400ths in the first sector. But running wide, making a mistake. He almost could have ended qualifying there, but he managed to gather it back up. Only just so. Really does demonstrate how hard these guys are pushing. Crichton up by 600ths in the first sector. Up the hill. It's turn 6 and 7. Through this technical second sector. That must be Shaq in the Renault, currently 5th. Just on an in-lap. Down the hill. What does Sector 2 say? Down by 13 thousandths of a second. Then back up the hill. What can Crichton do? Actually, he's pulling in. He is pulling into the pits with 4 minutes left. He's going to have another go right at the end of the session. Wildboy has done a lap at 6.5. Very close at the moment, I must say. Missed him out on an in-lap currently, P6. What about Swaggy? P2 is on an in-lap. Spicy on a flyer. Running low on fuel though. Exiting Junso up the hill. Just got over 3 minutes left, so drivers will be preparing themselves for their final flying lap. Spicy crosses the line, goes 12th quickest with a 1 minute 6.854. Look how close it is, ladies and gentlemen. I said it'd be about a second between first down to last. That's exactly what it is. 9:10. Close. It always is here in Interlagos. So Spilly will be the first driver to set a flying lap. Fantastic aerial shot here. Rounding Junso. Nails the throttle on the exit too. Really confident. Currently P10 just inside the top 10. Here we go. All or nothing lap here from Spilly. Rounding turn 1 and turn 2 that formed the center S. Rounding 3 Curva de Sol. Maximising the width of the racetrack there. Utilising every centimetre. Through turns 4 and 5, Descida do Lago. Up the hill, 8th gear, back to the aerial shot. Thank you, Codemasters, you're on top of things tonight. Rounding the hairpin of turn 8. Then turn 9. Had to be very patient here. Then he gets onto full throttle just before the Rolex signs there that go over the racetrack. Back down the hill. Rounding turn 12 and then into the critical turn 13. And purple to the second sector apparently. Improving by a little under a 1/10.5. I don't think he'd be purple in the second sector though. I think that just might be a glitch. We'll see though, what does Spilly do when he crosses the line? A 6.7 improves himself to 9th place. Rounding the hairpin. He does have traffic in front. One of them's Crichton. There is a Ferrari. Oh, Leo backs out. So he gets involved with this train. Oh, and smashing into the back of it. That's Cyril JB. Oh my, and that's Ford? No, it was Izzat, our current pole sitter. So Izzat and Cyril JB have come together there at turn 12. That might have ruined Izzat's qualifying, I'm not sure. Can we get a better shot here, Cody's? Please, work with me here. No, he's not doing the lap, ladies and gentlemen. If he was, he'd be using ERS. He's pulling... Oh, and he has a missing end plate. So Izzat cannot fight for pole. It's now a free game for the likes of Swaggy and Crichton. Can they take pole position here in the final round? Crichton is up by 0.5 in the first sector. He's coming through the second. Ford jumps up to pole position, making it an AlphaTauri 1-2 with a 1 minute 6.271. Does Crichton have anything in response? Ending the second sector up by 1/10. He needs to find a bit more time in this third and final sector. He will round the final corner, come up to the finish line. He will set a 1 minute 6.325. It's not enough. It's P2 for the recently crowned champion, and Swaggy has backed out of the lap. What about Mr. Mount? Crossing the line, he goes 6th quickest with a 6.4. And I do believe that will be the end of quali. Hang on, one slick mofo. No, he has invalidated as well. So a bit of drama in qualifying. An incident at turn 12 between Izzat Kush and Sorel JB. It resulted in Izzat being unable to get a flying lap at the end of the session. But in the end, G-Force Ford will start on pole here at Interlagos with his G-Force compatriot Crichton alongside. And it'll be Izzat Kush with a 5 grid place penalty. I didn't even see that. Whereabouts is it? I can't even find it. There it is. Collision with Sorel J. That is utter ridiculousness there. I don't think Izzat deserves that at all. Well done, Cody's. Doing your work. So he'll start from P8. Swaggy will jump up. So with Wogboy missing out Shaq Leo. Then it'll be Spilly and one slick mofo rounding out the top 10. I didn't even see that prompt come up. So that is a tremendous blow for the Singaporean. Starting a long way down compared to where they qualified. Now, what are the conditions here? It is overcast, very overcast. It is very grey here at Interlagos. The track itself isn't wet just yet, but it may be in a few moments' time. All of the drivers in the top 10 will be starting on the soft compound tyre. We'll go through the order outside the top 10. We'll see what they decide to start on. Session counter begins to count down. 19 cars on the grid as well, which is very, very good to see. Very healthy field for the final round. Very pleasing. Hopefully these boys put on one hell of a show. Here we go. Line up on the grid. Ready for the final race of this season in the Pacific Tier 1 Championship. Drivers set off on the formation lap. And there we go. That 5 grid place penalty being applied. So, although Izzat qualified third, starting third will be Swaggy, then Wogboy. This map P5. Shaq P6, Leo and P7. There is Izzat Kush starting 8th. Spilly 9th and one slick mofo in 10th place. Outside of it, outside of the top 10, we have Plebs in P11, Old Mate Kurt in 12th, Spicy in 13th place with Kevin Texas in 14th, Polish Gorilla in 15th place. Then we have Sandeezy P16, Nachos P17, only driver on the hard compound tyre as well. Sorel JB, who was involved in the incident in qualifying, will be starting in 18th place. OP Magic in 19th. Should note as well, Plebs, Kurt, Texas, Gorilla, Sorel JB and OP Magic, all of them are starting on the medium compound tyre as shown. Sandeezy and Spicy electing to go onto the soft tyre, so they'll be looking to make up positions early. Nachos is the only driver in the field starting on the hards, and that's Plebs spinning off into the infield. Gets it back on though. There's predicted tyre stop strategy. Softer hards with the pit window lap 14 through 17. Plebs will need to try and get some temperature back into those tyres. I imagine they're a bit cold. Get the telemetry up. There we go. Oh. This will be interesting to see how this all works out. We've got a G-Force 1, 2, 3, 4 at the front of the field. Can G-Force make history here at Interlagos? We'll have to wait and see. But here we go. Here at Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We have 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. Now it seems that Fordy has converted well. He will lead the field around turn 1, and off the racetrack is one of the Haasers. That is Leo. He's dropped down to the back end of the field. That is a superb start, as we already have a leaderboard glitch. That's fantastic. Heading around turns 4 and 5. See the pack making their way through. Just trying to find a bit of road to drive on as Mr. Mount runs wide there at turn 4. You can see the drivers bunching up. It's 3 wide in the background. And Williams off the racetrack. That is Kurt. He falls to last place. He falls to 19th. Getting shoved out wide there at turn 5. Oh, Oping Magic getting past Sir LJB, and oh, hello Polish Gorilla, how are you? Alongside him, past into 17th place. Up the hill. Spicy, is he close enough to attack? Well, he's going to try using overtake. Sitting in the slipstream. Pulls alongside, looking around the long way into turn 1. The RS is not enabled, by the way. It's only lap 2, not lap 3. Seems that the lap glitch hasn't fixed itself, and Spicy into P12. On the Retro Aposta, heading towards turns 4 and 5. Midfield behaving themselves. Crichton down to 3rd. A Haas overtaking a McLaren. That is Leo into 13th place. I notice as well, Sandizi running even on fuel. That's what the yellow icon means. That may suggest there is wet weather on the way. We'll have to wait and see though. Is that Kush on the back of Shaq here? Oh, Shaq gets loose, very loose there. But he manages to keep control. Just, dearie me, even in the entry at turn 13, he was still well out of control. And Izzat into 6th place. Here comes Spilly, sitting in the slipstream, ready to pounce. He's alongside the Renault. Can't brake deep enough to get the position though. Izzat now in P6. There's one slip, Mofo and Sandizi. We have DRS now enabled. Sandizi not close enough to attack. 1 second, Mofo. Spilly sort of in no man's land there. Out in front though, the G-Force Quartet still leading the way. Best of the rest is Mr. Mount in the Williams. But he's right there with the leading pack, ready to pounce. Isaac Kush is 1 second behind, but is steadily closing in. I don't think any... Oh, that is Spicy. Down in 16th place. See if we can't find him. He's rejoined the racetrack. He's now down in plumb last as Swaggy takes the lead away from Ford. Will Ford counter-attack? I think he just might. He's close enough to attack. DRS open, sitting in the slipstream, but he's not going to use any battery. Pulls alongside, doesn't commit to the overtake though, stays in 2nd. Seeing a bit of tactics going on here from Ford. I think he had the opportunity to try and retake the position. Elected not to take it though. Rounding turn 9 and turns 10 and 11 here in the 2nd sector. Polish Gorilla and Curving Texas battling for position down in 15th. Swaggy is pulling away ever so slightly there to Ford. Ford using a bit of his battery to claw that back. And he'll open DRS and close up some more as Crichton, he looks racy here heading towards turn 1. Not close. Oh, he shoves the nose down the inside. Or makes contact as well with Ford. Rounding turn 3, using more overtakes, sitting in the slipstream. DRS open. OP Magic and Nacho's battle for 13th place. Can't get it done. Send Easy past One Slick Mofo as well in 9th. It's a bit difficult to look at all that stuff as well, because the leaders are so close to one another. I don't want to miss anything. So close together. Look at this pack, it's not just the top 5 anymore. Izzat's there, Shaq says. Spilly's there, same as Sandeezy and One Slick Mofo. They just need to gain a bit more time, and they're on the back of this as well. So we just got a colossal DRS train forming. I don't think Sandeezy will get DRS. He's going to be vulnerable to One Slick Mofo. Izzat push into 5th place. One Slick Mofo not using any of his ERS yet, but he might have a go at turn 4. Rounding centre as he understeers wide, missing the apex. Pleb's not close enough to attack. Nachos overtakes OP Magic. That is for 13th. Sitting in the slipstream, ready to pass here. Doesn't commit to a move though, Plebs. OP Magic retakes 13th place away from Nachos. They're just exchanging places now. They're losing a lot of time to the cars in front. Nachos understeers there. He's vulnerable, but Gorilla not in a place to attack, it would seem. Fantastic aerial shot. See these 4 cars making their way through the 2nd sector. Might see One Slick Mofo have another go. Ford might be close enough to attack as well. Here he comes, looking to the inside here at turn 1. And he's through with ease. He retakes the lead. Rounding turn 3 though, Swaggy is close. Uses DRS. Does he counter attack? The answer is no, he stays behind. Sort of a very tactical game going on between these guys at the moment. They need to pick and choose their time, when to overtake, when to stay conservative, save up your resources, not make mistakes. Penalties will really hurt your race here at Interlagos, particularly with the field being so close. Ford opens up a margin of 7/10 exiting turn 13. It closes up quite a bit here. Uses DRS, sits in the slipstream, gaining a whole heap of time. Crichton looking, weaving down the inside. Oh, and a big send from Swaggy. They're side by side through 1, but Ford comes out on top at turn 2. Rounding turn 3, Swaggy is on the attack as Shaq gets a 3-second time penalty. Sitting in the slipstream, heading towards turn 4, looking round the outside. He has to be brave, he has to go deep. Ford pushes him wide. Swaggy's not having it though. They're side by side through turn 5, up the hill towards turn 6 and 7. Down the inside, Swaggy. Ford is fighting strong. He keeps it there. But here at the hairpin, Swaggy has a dominant position, and it's starting to rain. Ford fights back though here at turn 9. Ultimately gives way. What a melee that was between the 2 drivers. But Swaggy comes out on top. Immediately as it starts some intermediate conditions here. Rounding turn 13, can Swaggy pull away? Uses overtake, dumps it up the hill to open up a 6/10 margin. Not enough, I'm afraid. Ford will get DRS. Is that missing that stay out? It's nowhere near wet enough just yet. I'll have to wait and see when it is wet enough. Will anyone gamble to put on the intermediate tyre so early? No one as of yet. Ford closing. Not close enough though. And Ford running even on fuel. That's what the yellow icon means. So he's got a light car. So he's preparing for the wet conditions. Not sure about Crichton or Wogboy. Actually, anyone else in the top 6. Oh, Ford losing time. He needs to gather it back up. So long as he stays within a second of Swaggy, that's the important thing. But in order for Ford to attack, he needs to get a lot closer. There's Swaggy, Ford, Crichton, Wogboy. They cross the line to begin lap 10 of 36 here at Interlagos. Oh, Ford makes a mistake. Can Crichton pounce? It looked like Ford understeered wide there at turn 1. Fortunately, it didn't cost Ford too much time. Wogboy is at. Missed him out, not close enough. None of them are close enough. Rounding turn 9. Back up the hill towards turn 11. Just following the leader, not doing anything stupid. It's what you need to do through the second sector. Don't need to fight for sheep stations just yet. Ford is steadily losing a bit of ground. Just unable to keep up with the raw pace of Swaggy. Not a bad shot that was. That still camera. Very, very nice. Ford. Again, closing here into turn 4. Not close enough to attack. This 100% is going to be a game of tactics here. And the guys behind Swaggy need to make the most of the DRS they have available to them. Because I imagine in a few moments' time it's going to be switched off. The rain is getting heavier. Swaggy didn't get the greatest of runs there in Junso. Just a little bit of ground, not too much though. Staying out for another lap. 12 of 36. We're at the 1/3 mark. Oh. Swaggy making a bit of a mess of turn 3. Ford's going to capitalise, using overtake and DRS, pulls to the inside. And he gets the position, retakes the lead there from a costly mistake from Swaggy as Crichton was sideways there at turn 4. As I noticed as well, Polish Gorilla pitting in for intermediate tyres, copped a 5-second penalty for speeding. Quite easy to do. Oh, and that's a McLaren. That must be plebs. It is. He's going to lose a bunch of positions there. He'll fall to 15th, get overtaken by Kurt. There we go. But I believe the medium runners would be regretting their decision going on to the medium tyre. With the rain coming at this time, you want to be on the softs. Swaggy used a fair amount of overtake there. In the slipstream. 40 driving in the middle of the road. Swaggy down the inside into turn 1. Oh, and Ford makes a mistake coming through turn 2. Swaggy tries to go around the outside. He's kind of forced to here at turn 3. They are side by side heading down the Retro Aposta. And here comes G-Force Crichton, the champion, down the inside. Can't get it done. Ford covering him off. Oh, and Swaggy understeering wide. Plebs a 5-second penalty, and Ford retakes the lead. Oh, and Crichton almost makes a mistake there. And Wild Boy is just watching behind, just chilling, just vibing. Just letting the three in front attack one another. He'll just stay in P4 just happily. He's still got the overtake turned on for whatever reason though. Jesus. He's just chilling, just vibing in 4th place, just watching the three in front attack one another. Driver's changing onto the intermediate tyre. Will we see the leaders come in? I think we will, if everyone else has changed. Keep an eye on Isaac Kush and Mr. Mount as well, where they come out relative to these guys. They might have big brain this. We'll wait and see. Into the pits we'll go, and DRS is disabled. Oh, pull it up. Oh. They all pulled it up. Mofo's in. Yeah, Leo, you'll have to come in as well. Regardless of the double stack, you're better off coming in. OP coming into the pits as well from P7. So Isaac, where does he come out relative to the G-Force boys? He might be our race leader. In fact, I don't want to count my chickens just yet. No, I think he will be our race leader. The plan worked, pitting a lap earlier. He's into P1, and same with Mr. Mount. He comes out, potentially P3. He'll be side by side with Swaggy here at turn 4. Round the outside. Swaggy having none of it though. Covers him off. So, pitting earlier. Oh, as Crichton gets a penalty running wide there at the exit of turn 5. It's costing 3 seconds. Shaq's there as well in P6. But what a bit of strategy there from Izzat. And I know as well that Izzat is quite the wet weather master. Very, very capable when the circuit gets slippery. And a 3-second margin already over his teammate. And that is increasing as well. Now it will be a bit more difficult to overtake. No DRS available to you. You have to overtake the old-fashioned way, and Swaggy almost puts it into the wall. Verstappen style. Managed to keep it out though. He's got Mr. Mount right on the back of him. Through the center S, and then Curva du Sol. Skating through the left-handed sweeper. Now round to Cedar do Lago. Fantastic. Up the hill, rounding turn 7 and into the hairpin of 8. Just no one really capable of putting themselves in a position to overtake just yet. Crichton's close, so he looks racy. He wants to get a move on. Nothing too risky yet though from the recently crowned Drivers' Champion. I'll make Kurt a 3-second time penalty. Shaq a 3-second time penalty. Sector 2 and 3 yellow flags. That is an Alfa Romeo. That must be Sandizi. Making a mistake there at the exit of turn 12, entry of 13. These guys are close. Oh, a bit skatey there. Running low on fuel as well, Mr. Mount. I think a few drivers running low. Is that not being one of them? That gap has closed too between Ford and Izzat. Now it's 2.6 seconds. Starting to increase again through the second sector. Back down the hill, rounding turn 12 and then turn 13. Gap increases back to 3 seconds. Those are Nacho's exchange positions. Those are the two McLaren drivers down in P16 and 17. Not a great race for those fellas. Realistically, they will need a safety car to save their race. There's our race leader that was in the corner of shot. Here P2 and 3. Very close to one another, using overtake again. Ford. Using it where he can. Realistically, this is the only area to watch as well. Not quite close enough to attack just yet. We're closing in on the halfway mark as well. Swaggy not close enough. Needs to try and force Ford into some sort of mistake. If he can do that, then he can find a way past. But he's making mistakes himself. He's losing a bit of time there. Maybe a tenth or so. Through the center S. If he can get the run through turn 3, there might be a chance of Shaq and Wogboy battling for position. This is for P6 on the road. Rounding turn 3. Can Wogboy attack? Heading into turn 4. Sitting in the slipstream. Not close enough, I'm afraid. Stays P7. Sector 1 yellows, that is send easy. This time at turn 3, here comes Polish Gorilla. Whoa, covers him off. Round the outside goes the Renault. Gets it done. Into P12. Spilly on the back of Wogboy now, who is on the back of Shaq. The battle for P6 has turned into a 3-horse race. Can Wogboy do anything? He is using his battery, sitting in the slipstream of the Renault, but not gaining enough. He's right there, just there. Just not quite close enough, I'm afraid. Oh, here we go. I smell an opportunity coming up. Oh, he's actually backed out of it. If Wogboy, I think if he was more committed with the battery, he might have had a genuine shot there at overtaking the Renault. Decided not to commit to it. Mismount as well has been overtaken by Crichton, as you can see. Crichton into 4th place. Down the hill, rounding turn 12. Mount losing a little bit of time here to Crichton. Gap has increased steadily. Oh, and here we go. Using overtake. Shaq pulls away. But he's running out of resources for the next straight. Spilly is right there as well in P8. Ready to launch an assault. Shaq has got just enough of a gap to hang on for now. There's one Slickmofo in the back of shot as well in the Haas in P9. Miss amount, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. That is his first 3-second penalty of the night. Got a 5-second earlier, I'm guessing, for speeding. In the pits, like I said, quite easy to do here at Interlagos. Very easy to do. It's a very fast approach into the pit lane. These guys starting to spread out quite a bit now. And the gap between the two AlphaTauris leading the way has increased as well. Gap of now 3.5 seconds. There is his teammate. Is that Kush leading the way, then Useless forward in second. Spilly overtakes Wogboy down the inside of turn 2. That is Spicy in the Mercedes-Benz, making a mistake there. Here comes Wogboy. Can he counter-attack? No, he cannot. Stays in P8. So Spilly taking the initiative, attacking Wogboy. Can he launch an assault on Shaq? We'll have to wait and see. Crichton's clawing onto the back of Swaggy as well. We might see a battle for third in just a moment. This rain is getting heavier too, folks. We might see some wet weather conditions, not just intermediate conditions. Spray starting to increase. The rainfall's getting heavier. So it might not just be a straightforward one-stop. There might be an extra twist in the tail here. Oh, sideways there. Certainly looks sideways from that camera shot. Everybody just starting to settle down just a little bit. Oh, hang on, that's Send Easy again. This time he's destroyed his front wing. Pit exit and a virtual safety car has been deployed. That's actually quite a sensible call there from the Codemaster stewards. That's exactly what a VSC is designed for, to collect debris on the racetrack. And plebs a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. That must have been for the pass on Sandeezy. So he's been copped a 5-second penalty. Oh, and the leaders are in, the leaders are in. What are they doing? The leaders are in. It's a new set of inters. Oh, and a drive-through for Nachos for speeding on the virtual safety car. What is happening? Why are these guys in? So Crichton 3 seconds, Mismount 8, Shaq 6. What is going on? Oh, Crichton down the inside here at turn 4. Can't get it done, but the leaders, why did they pit? Just lost the lead. Can those intermediate tyres not make it from... Oh, maybe not. Maybe that's why they had to pit. Well, that's the only reason why they had to pit. Was those intermediates couldn't make it to the end of the race. That's the only reason why. There's no pace advantage really. And it's already difficult enough to overtake in these conditions that you wouldn't want to sacrifice track position. Coming round, we have Mr. Mount leading the way into the pits. Right. Is this for a new set of intermediate tyres? Or has he got a plan? No, it's a set of inters. I thought he might bring out the wet weather tyre. No, it's a set of inters. Interesting. So now we have Crichton leading, Shaq second, Spilly third, Wogboy just in behind. And it's 2.1 seconds to Izzat. Then P6 is one slick mofo. Swaggy in 7th. Then Leo in 8th, Ford in 9th, and OP Magic rounding out the 10. This is so scrambled up now. What is this? What is going on? Ooh. Ford and Leo battling for position here. This is for P8. Ooh. Ford just has to be patient. Wait for the right opportunity to strike. Into the pits goes Spilly. Interesting. And here comes Ford, using overtake, sitting in the slipstream. And Leo doesn't put up much of a fight. Probably a wise thing to do. Just let the faster guy through, just look after your own race. Polish Gorilla, a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Interesting. See, when I saw them dive into the pits initially, oh, that's nachos. I thought it was to change to the wet weather type, because I have noticed it is getting heavier. And I have a feeling that's why Wogboy, Shaq and Crichton have stayed out longer. They might be gambling with the idea that it might turn to full wet conditions soon. In which case, everyone who has made the pit stop, made a pit stop in the recent past, may have blown their chances a little bit. Let's have a look, see what Shaq is up to. No, it's another set of inters. So clearly these intermediate tyres have no life whatsoever. If they have to pit at lap 11. Very interesting. Texas a penalty, speeding in the pit lane. Another one. Swaggy applying a lot of pressure here to Mofo, who is not budging. Or a bit of a wiggle from both drivers. Looking down the inside, Swaggy goes deep. Polish Gorilla retires in the pit lane, our first retirement in this race. But a clean move there. Mofo didn't turn in. Just kept a space there for Swaggy to get through. And into 4th place goes the Alfa Romeo. Here at turn 1, and Wogboy could not fight it. Into 2nd place goes Izzat, but it's a fairly big margin to the leader, 7.3 seconds. Can he close it up with the laps remaining? Where to look? I'll tell you where to look. Shaq and Spilly. Shaq P10, Spilly P11. Both drivers on fresh intermediate tyres. Curving, overtaking Sorel JB, who was in the pits again. And in 15th, the last point scoring position. Nah, Spilly's not close enough to attack just yet. If he can nail the run at turn 13, he might be able to have a go. Shaq makes a mistake, here we go. Uses overtake. Shaq dumps his. A reaction from his mistake earlier. Oops, went one too far. So as a reaction to him making a mistake at turn 13, he absolutely dumped his ERS, and old mate Kurt has crashed out. That is a crash. Sorrel JB, we'll go with you. That is at turn 8. Look at that, he's gone right into the tyre barrier. Fortunately, no safety cars to change the course of the race. Rounding turn 5 on this short straight towards turn 6 and 7. Spilly again, not close enough to attack. Spicy, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Miss him out on the back of OP Magic, heading around Bico de Pato, I believe that's the corner name, turn 11. Translated into English, it means duckbill. Rather fitting, isn't it? Describing the shape of the corner. And through Junso, his old mate Kurt leaves the session. Oh, into the wall. He couldn't save it, Verstappen style. Fortunately, though, I don't think he has too much damage. Oh, that's quite an embarrassing moment there. But he managed to gather it back up. I guess it really just demonstrates how difficult these conditions are. And that's spicy. Facing the wrong way. Reverse the car onto the track. And a safety car. Sandeezy's retired at the hairpin. Can we find a car? Here we go. There he is there. There's his... We're riding on board with his teammate. Rather fitting that. He's gone head on into the barrier, bringing out the safety car. Crichton will be going in. There was no doubt in that, was there? Into the pits we must go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. Now what is he pitting onto? A set of intermediate tyres. It's a delayed stop, slightly delayed stop. There goes Isaac Kush into the lead. Then there's Wogboy pitting in. Swaggy, a penalty for speeding. He didn't look to be too fast, but he still sped into the pit lane. Staying out is that Ford? I believe it is. Ford staying out. Or will he come out in front of Crichton? No. He definitely will not. So with only 7 laps to go, we're going to be spending about 2 or 3 of them under safety car. So we're going to have quite a short dash to the flag as Plebs gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. So here's the scenario. Isaac Kush is leading the way. Crichton is in behind on fresh rubber, no less, as you can see there on the graphic. But he has a 3-second time penalty next to his name. So if he were to pass Isaac Kush for the lead, he needs to build a margin of 3 seconds. And that's very difficult to do, as I know quite well that Isaac Kush is a wet weather maestro. Down in P3 is Isaac's teammate G-Force Ford, with no penalties but with similar age tyres to Isaac, so perhaps Ford won't be able to mount much of an assault against Crichton. In P4 is Wogboy on fresh tyres, no penalties as well. Perhaps Wogboy can get a podium in this race here at Interlagos. He would like that very much. Shaka's in 5th place on 3 lap-old Inters, but with 6 seconds worth of penalties. He's going to be quite vulnerable to those behind who don't have any. Most especially Spilly in P6, with 5 lap-old intermediate tyres, but no penalties next to his name. Then we've got some interesting drivers behind. Mr. Mount, who we saw make a mistake earlier, finds himself in 7th as Nachos is overtaking drivers. And a drive-through for ignoring yellows. And a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellows. And disqualifying for ignoring yellows. I don't know what to tell you. Oh. Other than, Nachos is disqualified. He's out of the race. I'm sure the guys would have been quite surprised seeing this flash of orange just fly through. Drive-through penalty. He's been disqualified. You just gave a disqualified driver a drive-through penalty for falling too far back. What? He's still driving. He is still driving. Excuse me. You just disqualified this. Hang on a minute. What do you mean, game? Oh, whatever. And a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Nachos, is it your goal tonight to just gather as many penalties as you can? You want to set a world record or something? Jesus. Oh, and Swaggy. Swaggy's in the pits again. Now he's going to serve that 5-second penalty as well. But what is this for? It's for a fresh set of inters. Why has he done this? He's fallen to the back of the field. In 13th, 14th actually, 15th maybe with Sorel JB. Why is he pitted? I mean, yes, you lose out quite a bit of time, but you lose so much track position and you've only got very few laps to make him back up. It'd be interesting to see where he finishes, I guess. Oh well, credit to the man, give it a go, see what happens, I guess. Who knows? We might have the mother of all pilots in the remaining laps. I don't know. Yeah, not wrong, Alex. I have no idea what Notches is up to. He's doing something. Will the safety car be in this lap? Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, it will be. So, Isaac will control the field. Back them up to allow the safety car to go back into the pits. And a 5-second penalty applied to G-Force Crichton. A quote-unquote severe collision with Isaac Kush. It was so severe that there was absolutely no damage inflicted to either cars. There you go. So LJB, a 5-second penalty. But here we go. Isaac guns it. Crossing the line, it is 4 laps to go. Oh, and Isaac got a 5-second penalty as well. That puts Ford in a position to win the race. Rounding turn 2 and then turn 3. Of course, when I mean winning the race, it's in unofficial terms. We'll have to wait till post-steward stuff to see who finishes where. And Spicy is off the racetrack completely in the wall there at the Reto Aposta. Back to the leaders. Swaggy's up into 12th place on a charge. Rounding turn 6 and 7. Race leader Isaac Kush. Now with a 5-second penalty, I guess that was a severe collision penalty with Crichton. Both of them copping 5 seconds there. Who is going to win this one? Rounding the hairpin at turn 11 and down the hill, rounding turn 12 and then into the critical turn 13, Jun So. Swaggy jumps down to 12th. He's battling Pledge for position. Oh, we might have a look at this. I want to see Swaggy. There he is. Right on the back as Mr. Mount overtakes Shaq for 5th place. Looking down the inside here at turn 1 with 3 laps to go. Into 11th goes the Alpha driver. He's the sole Alfa Romeo left in this race as Sandizi crashed out at turn 11. Resulting in a safety car. The two Haas's changed position. Leo into 8th. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there. Ford losing a bit of ground to the 2 leaders. Is that in Crichton? Down the hill. Oh, Crichton losing time. See the interval increase between P1 and 2. Then up the hill once again. So here we go. We now have 2 laps to go. The final 8.6 kilometers of this race. Crichton looking left and right to try and find a way past, but he needs to gather momentum. Perhaps even force Izzat into some sort of mistake. He's dumping his overtake, sitting in the slipstream. He shows the nose but doesn't commit to anything. Wogboy on the back of Ford. If Wogboy can get past the AlphaTauri, it might be an unofficial win for the Ferrari driver, and I'm not even sure who's finishing on the podium at this stage. It just might be Mr. Mount, or it could be Spilly. I'm not sure. The gaps are very close here at the front. Down the inside, he shows the nose. Crichton wanting to get by, applying as much pressure as he can onto the back of Izzat Kush as they head around turn 13 for the second last time. Crichton, he needs to nail the exit. He's 4/10 behind Izzat, rounding for 15. They now begin the final lap, the final 4.3 kilometers of this race. Crichton with it all to do. Can he find a way past? What about Ford? Can he hang on? Can he keep Wogboy at bay? Well, it looks like he most certainly can. Crichton in the slipstream, ready to attack. Izzat drives in the middle of the road. Crichton, does it go? He dives! Down the inside, they make contact. Crichton manages to hang on to the car though and not spin out. Heading up the hill, rounding turns 6 and 7. Is that just... sideways there as well, Crichton. He is pushing hard. Is that doing exactly what he needs to do to hang on to the position? Rounding the hairpin. Turn 11. We saw Crichton have a go here. He can't have a go during this time round because he wasn't simply close enough. Rounding the hairpin, not close enough again. And there's nothing Crichton can do. So, with the penalty, Izzat, he will cross the line in first place. Oh, and we have some movement elsewhere. Crichton will cross the line in second, but it will be G-Force Ford who wins this race, with Wogboy in second, Izzat in third, and a whole heap of shenanigans going on back here. There's a backwards. That has to be Leo. It is Leo. Oh dearie me, what a shambles of a finish that was. So, G-Force Ford taking the victory here at Interlagos, but it's a unofficial victory. I'm sure there's going to be a few stewards' inquests after this race. I'm sure of it. So, take these results with a grain of salt, because I don't think these finishing positions are going to stay the same. But for now, G-Force Ford takes the win here at Interlagos. Wogboy in second. And it's an AlphaTauri 1-3. Both of them on the podium, with Izzat Kush finishing in third. But we may see the Singaporean jump up to the top step if they can get that 5-second penalty removed. So here we go. Remember, unofficial results here at Interlagos. Ford wins. Wogboy second, Izzat third. Mr. Mount ends up finishing in fourth. Leo in fifth. Spilly in P6. Swaggy in seventh. Crichton in eighth. OP Magic from P19 to P9. That's a pretty solid performance. Definitely deserves driver of the day, I feel. Curving Texas P10. Both Red Bulls in the top 10. One Slick Mofo P11. Shaq 12th. Plebs in P13, Sorel JB from 18th to 14th, and then Spicy, our final finisher, in 15th place, scoring the last valuable point. Well, it was quite the drama fest here in Brazil, as it always is. That was quite an interesting conclusion to this race, and we had a brilliant beginning there. Some really spiffing battles at the front, but a nice way for the championship to end on. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that will end round 15 of the Go Workplace Training Tier 1. Oh god, I've marked it up. Go Workplace Training PlayStation Pacific Series Tier 1. It's still a mouthful. I'm never ever going to get used to it. But what a season we have had. Some very, very interesting races over the course of this. I've been here for all but one of them. That was a Japanese Grand Prix, as I was unable to attend. That was a hell of a lot of fun, I must say. It's been an absolute pleasure commentating for this lot. Very fast, very professional group of drivers. A lot of fun indeed. But the action isn't quite over here on Race Spec Esports. It is for the Pacific Series, but tomorrow we'll have the America Series going on. That should be an absolute blast to watch. We also have a championship fight going on in there as well, for the Driver's Crown, so tune in for that for sure tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun. And then of course at the end of the week we will have the Race Spec Tiers battle it out around this wondrous racetrack. So plenty to look forward to. I love Brazil. I really do. I love this place. To me, it's an absolute mystery on why the Brazilian government want to create a new racetrack in Rio and host a Formula 1 race there. You already have a brilliant racetrack. Don't bother making another one. It's like the Belgian government saying, right, we're going to build a brand new Grade 1 facility and move away from Spa. You wouldn't do that, would you? So why would you do that here with Interlagos? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So, no, definitely looking forward to the races ahead in Race Spec Esports. But for the Pacific tier, it's finally time to wrap up this entire championship season. It's been a blast. It's been a hell of a lot of fun as well. But I have absolutely no idea what the future holds for Race Spec Esports during the time period between here and till the next game, which is about 2 months away. I'm not 100% sure what we've got planned. Maybe we won't see you again until the next game, which will be in mid-July, which will be some time away. But I'm sure we'll be looking forward to that season on the new game. Should be a lot of fun. But until next time, whenever that may be, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and I bid you all a very, very good night.